Yo, what's good, guys? Coach Flex, Saturday, October 25th. Thought I'd check in with you guys. I'm about to be yelling. It's loud as fuck. I'm on the assault bike. Thought I'd do something different instead of just sitting on the damn computer. Figured I'd do this shit. I figure you guys are watching. You may be doing cardio, doing a walk, so might as well do this shit while I do some cardio. And that's the thing, man. You gotta get creative with your cardio. Instead of just watching TV, chilling, fucking get on the Stairmaster, get on a bike, get on a treadmill, watch your Netflix, watch your sports. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sit there and do nothing and not do shit. Man, our times are way too busy. Schedules are way too busy. So optimize your day, multitask, man. You know what I'm saying? And again, guys, just want to tap in with everybody. And I just want to make sure I'm living and leading by example for you guys. And this community, man, is so powerful. Powerful because we can all hold each other accountable. You guys hold me accountable. Me being part of this community, facilitating the community, makes me accountable because I have to show you guys that I'm doing this shit myself as well, right? So if I'm prescribing nutrition, exercise, cardio, and you guys don't see me doing it, why would you listen to me? You feel me? So we're all in this shit together. And guys, like, I will show you everything, good, bad, whatever I'm struggling with. And that's what we got to do, is keep all each other motivated, keep each other disciplined, keep each other accountable. And that's what community, that's what true brotherhood and true camaraderie is all about. Man, I just recently started tapping in with my best man, one of my best friends in college. Shout out to my boy Rich. We had a hell of a workout this morning. We did 20 minutes of incline treadmill just to get really warmed up, get a good sweat going, and we hit chest and back, shoulders and arms today. And I'm probably gonna do a video of this, but I'm gonna film a workout where it's not reps or sets based, it's actually time based. So instead of just counting reps, what I've been liking lately is I'll have a timer that just counts down the set for me. So for example, this morning, we did about 2 working sets per exercise. So as an example, set a timer for about 55 minutes, 50 to 55 seconds. And that's a lot of time under tension to get good stimulus on the muscle. Sometimes when we're just counting reps, let's say you're doing 8 reps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reps that you're just banging out. Man, that's only 10 seconds of time under tension. So if you're counting reps and not having a timer, to make sure you're getting enough time under tension, man, you got to be in like the 15, 20 rep range, right? Unless you're doing super slow. 1, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. 8 to 10 of those at that tempo right there, that should get you in about 35 to 50 second time under tension. And when you are working out, guys, like, we got to think about why are we working out, right? We're working out to stimulate the muscle. We're not just there to move weight from point A to B. We're there to stimulate the muscle. We got to feel every rep, make every set count, right? So it's all about time under tension, man, and making sure that like I said, you're getting enough stimulus during that set. If you try that shit where you are just focusing on the time under tension, you only need really 1 or 2 sets, guys, especially like if you're starting to fail around that 40, 45, 50 second mark, that's enough right there. So the analogy I like to use is like how do you know if we're getting enough stimulus, right? So just like when you water a plant, you're putting water in the vase and the vase gets full. Like, why continue to put water when the water or to fill up the vase? So same shit with working out. If you go to failure on one exercise, like why keep going after that when you've already filled up the vase, quote unquote, right? Or you've already got enough stimulus. So my recommendation is, after you go to failure on one exercise, go to the next one, right? And create a new stimulus. So that way your body just continuously has to adapt. Your body has to continually evolve and progress. That's how we get growth. That's how we progress right there, guys, is constantly mixing things up, switching things up. So your body is having to adapt, having to learn, having to grow. And that's how we get results, y'all. So people ask me, hey, do you do cardio just like in one session? How do you do it? So my recommendation, guys, is however you can get 30 to 60 minutes per day, whether it's in one bout or if it's too boring to do, 40 or 60 minutes in one session, let's split it up. Split it up by doing 10 or 20 before your workout, which kind of double dips as a good warm up to prime up your core temperature and mitigates a lot of injury risk. So it's just kind of a risk mitigation or injury prevention, is making sure your body is fully warmed up before we get into our exercises, right? So I'm 44, and man, back in the day when I was younger in college, I used to just get into the gym and start hitting the weights. No proper warm up, no dynamic stretching, no dynamic movements. And it's kind of crazy to think of like all the shit that I know now, had I applied that back when I was, in high school, college, in like the really prime like bodybuilding days, right? When our metabolisms were off the charts, when our muscle growth hormones were off the charts. But it is what it is, man. We're just gonna get better here on out, right? That's all we could do and not look back. So I like to break my cardio up throughout the day. So for example, again, 20 minutes before the workout, 20 to 30 minutes after the workout. That's an easy way to get 40 to 50 minutes right there, just in the same session while you're in the gym, right? It just depends on your schedule. So got to be flexible. You don't have to be so rigid all the time. You don't have to be so regimented. It's all about flexibility, fluidity, because that's what life is, man. Life just be throwing all kind of crazy shit at you, and you got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to stay flexible. But I think by understanding all these things, like, it is okay to break up your cardio. It is okay to do cardio before lifting. Like, there's all these guys quoting scientific studies of, hey, when you do cardio, you diminish your performance by point blah 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 percent. Who fucking cares, man? Just get it in, guys. That's what it's all about, right? And these guys quoting these studies, it's like, dude, what does your physique look like? All you're doing is quoting papers and rodent studies and randomized human trials. Like, that's the thing, it's randomized humans, guys. We don't know these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, do experimentation on yourself. Like with me, man, I constantly experiment on myself. So I like to share real life data with you guys, right? And especially with all the folks and clients that I've coached throughout the past 2.5 decades, like, that's the data I'm sharing with you guys. Not no rodent trials, not no random ass trials with people in the lab in perfect conditions. I'm sharing you guys real data from real people in real life. They got real life situations happening day in and day out. So yeah, man, like those are kind of some tricks, a couple of tricks right there. How do I do my cardio? And start giving that a try. Next time you lift, get this timer. It's called the Flex Timer. It's not my app. It just happens to be called the Flex Timer. It's the Flex Gym Timer. So with that, you can create like custom, like time on, time off type of sets with that timer. And again, what that allows you to do is really focus on the mind muscle connection and not have to count reps, right? You just focus on moving the weight just strategically, intentfully, and really feeling that muscle. So you're able to connect your mind with that muscle part that you're working. So guys, I'm feeling good, man. Yesterday I had a refeed day. I don't like to say cheat days. Cheat is just a bad connotation. If you're in this shit and you're asking me, hey Flex, when do I get a cheat day? That's just the wrong mindset to begin with. Eventually, if you do plateau or you're feeling like worn down, tired, those are signs of kind of like over dieting. So that's when I'll encourage or recommend a refeed day or a higher caloric intake day, or you can still stay within your caloric target, but you can manipulate your macros. So Again, guys, calories are kind of your bigger calories, right? That's your all of your food intake, energy intake for the day. Calories are broken down into macronutrients. Macronutrients being protein, fats, carbohydrates. So every gram of protein is 4 calories. Every gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. Every gram of fats is 9 calories. So guys, think about that. If carbs and proteins are 4 calories and fats are 9 calories, we gotta watch our what? Our fat intake to make sure that our caloric intake doesn't get blown out of proportion every day. So that's the thing, man. If you don't track your food, then you have no data. Without data, you have nothing to improve upon, right? So if you're in a plateau and you have no data, you don't know where to pivot. You don't know where to make adjustments. So I challenge you guys. I implore you guys to know your numbers, man. Just like when you budget financially, and fuck even that. Even some people don't budget financially. So think of your calories and macros as your personal physique budgets for the day. You feel me? Because if you guys want to lose weight, if you want to lose body fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. That just means burning more calories than what you take in. So that's the thing, guys. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a deficit. If you want to gain weight, you have to be in a surplus. If you want to maintain weight, you got to be in maintenance calories. So how do you know all this? How do you figure it out for yourself? Well, you take scientific guidelines and you experiment for 1 to 2 to 3 weeks, and to see how your body reacts and responds to certain caloric and certain macronutrient profiles. So for example, the rule of thumb says, hey, if you want to lose body fat, if you want to lose weight, you have to be in at least a 3,500 caloric deficit per week to lose 1 pound of body fat, right? So if it takes 3,500 calories in a deficit to lose 1 pound of body fat per week, you can break that down to saying, okay, that means I have to be in a 500 calorie deficit every day on average, right? And guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. Every day doesn't have to be perfect. Like your caloric surplus might be 1,000, or excuse me, your deficit could be 1,000 one day, 500 the next. So that equates to 500 calorie deficit over the course of 2 days. Same thing over the course of 7 days, guys. You just got to average about a 500 calorie deficit to lose 1 pound of body fat. But keep in mind, if you're exercising, if you're training, lifting, if you're doing cardio, that also helps to build a caloric deficit. So you don't necessarily just have to cut your calories to be in a deficit. It's a combination of exercise plus caloric restriction. And that's the thing, guys. Like every time you do cardio, let's just say on average, every 10 minutes, you're probably burning 100, 150 calories, right? As kind of as a rule of thumb. So think about that. If you do 30 minutes of cardio, steady state like I'm doing now, steady state meaning I'm going the same pace, I'm burning about 150 calories. So in 30 minutes, that's 450 calories that I just burnt. So if I need to be in a 500 caloric deficit, that means I only need to eat 50 calories less than my baseline. And I'll do a video of how do we even create a baseline, like just even a guide, right? So I'll break that down for you guys in a video. I think I've already done it a few times, but I'll do a video or I'll post a video on YouTube and put a link in the school channel. But guys, there's so much information to cover, man. And I know sometimes I'm gonna ramble, but I try to stay in a few topics every day to cover. And I'm gonna have to do a shitload of these videos, like a series of these videos to cover all this information. And like I said, man, there's so much ground to cover. We're barely scratching the surface. But the main things though, to be successful, you gotta start with your nutrition, guys. Your nutrition is the core. Nutrition sets off better hormones, better sleep, better energy. And if you don't have good nutrition, your sleep is impacted. If your sleep is trash, it's gonna impact your hunger hormones. It's gonna impact all kinds of other hormones. So the foundation is nutrition. Sleep is another factor, but is very influenced by your nutrition. And then how do we manage stress as well? Stress hits us every day, man, from all kind of different places. If you got family, you got kids, you got wives, a wife, not wives, your wife, right? Your career, your business. You might have both. You might have a career and a business. You might have multiple businesses. So think of all those stresses throughout the day. So how do we prepare for that stress? Well, exercise is a way to prepare our bodies for stress. Exercise is a good form of exercise. It's called hormetic stress. It's a good stress. It helps you deal with bad stress. So that's the thing. We gotta condition ourselves to be ready for this stressful ass thing we called life, right? And how do we do that? It's putting ourselves through these workouts, putting ourselves through cardio. So low intensity, steady state cardio, like I'm doing now, or like walking on a treadmill, incline treadmill, walking on a stairmaster. That is low intensity, steady state cardio. What are the benefits of that? Well, when you do that kind of cardio, it lowers your cortisol levels. Cortisol levels means lowering your stress, right? The lower your cortisol levels, the better blood sugar levels you can have. Why is it critical to have low cortisol? Because of lower blood sugar. Why is it beneficial to have low blood sugar? Well, having low blood sugar means your insulin levels are lower. They're not heightened every day throughout the day. Why is insulin critical? So the lower your blood sugar, the lower your insulin. When your insulin level is low, you are burning, guess what? Body fat. What is body fat? Stored energy, right? That's what body fat is for, guys. Body fat is excess energy, excess hormones, excess waste, excess bullshit that is coming through our body, whether we're eating it or we're absorbing it from our environment, right? So we live in such a toxic environment. I'm talking about the environment, the air, the water, the pollution, but also too, toxic thoughts. There's so much bullshit and stress penetrating our minds, guys. So level up, man, level up. Not just things that you're just putting in your mouth, not just the things that you're putting on your body. Start looking at things you're putting on your body. Start wearing more cotton, man, less of this, the plastics and shit. So think about that, guys. If you're wearing plastic-based apparel all day, even underwear, that shit is seeping into your body through your skin. Your skin is your biggest organ. Your skin absorbs so much toxicity throughout the day. So wear cotton underwear, wear cotton clothing. You know what I'm saying? So just up your chances of reducing or eliminating toxicity. And let's talk more about toxicity and how do we counteract against that, right? So toxicity leads to oxidation. Every time oxygen penetrates living things, it starts decaying. It starts penetrating to the cells. So notice when you cut an apple, it starts browning, right? But when you first cut into it, it's white and flesh, pink and flesh. But as oxygen penetrates the apple, guess what happens? It starts turning brown. So let's think about that process. When it's turning brown, that means that the oxygen, everything is damaging that living thing. So think of your body as the apple that got cut, right? We can't see this instantly like we can with apples. So think about all the damage that's being done to us by this environment, right? By the bad oxygen, by the bad water, by the bad foods, by the bad media that we're watching. So that's the thing, guys. Like, put yourself in an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory environment. How do we do that? Again, lowering stress, exercising, eating the right kind of foods, right? Eat a lot of anti-inflammatory foods. Eat a lot of foods that are high in antioxidants against oxygen, right? So if you want your body to not get brown inside like the apple, up your antioxidant game, up your anti-inflammatory game. Case in point, think about foods, right? What foods are high in omega-3 fatty acids? Omega-3 being amazing because omega-3 fatty acids, guess what? Counteract inflammation, anti-inflammatory. So what is an omega-3s? The fatty acids in salmon, the fatty acids in a lot of other fish, the fatty acids in grass-fed beef, the fatty acids in wild game, like wild boar, wild deer, wild turkey. Try to get your meats wild, pasture raised, all the other like healthy farming alternatives. None of this commercial farmed animals, guys. That shit will kill you. Because the thing is, we are what we eat, right? So think about that. Why are we eating things that are supposed to help us live, but yet we're not picking the right things to help us live? So, man, that's another video. Holy shit. Let's not even get into like the different types of the quality of proteins that we're eating, the quality of meats that we're eating, right? So let me continue on though. I'm rambling. What else is high in omega-3? Omega-3 is critical again because they are anti-inflammatory in properties, which helps to counteract oxidation. So the sources that I love most, and most of you guys know I am a high fruitarian, mostly vegetarian protocol. I coined it flexitarian diet. So my main sources of omega-3s include chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds. Well, pumpkin seeds tend to have a higher omega-6 profile. And now we're going to get into what is omega-3 versus omega-6, right? So I just spoke about omega-3 being anti-inflammatory, antioxidant nature, which helps you. And then you have omega-6. So omega-6 cause inflammation. They're more oxidative in characteristics, right? So what's high in omega-6? Omega-6 is high in foods found such as oils, processed oils, seed oils, vegetable oils, canola oils, right? Soybean oil, sunflower oil, palm oil. Guys, start reading labels of what you're putting inside of your body. You do not want things that are high in omega-6, right? Such as those seed oils, such as processed foods, such as, man, there's so many things that cause oxidation, guys, sugar. But let's continue on with what else is high in omega-6. If you look at protein sources that we're eating, and protein usually comes with what? With fats, correct? So think about a steak that you eat. If you compare a grass-fed steak, meaning a cow that ate only grass for its life, the protein and the fats that grass-fed steak or cow has, high in omega-3. Compare that to a cow that eats non-grass-fed, a conventional farmed cow, a commercially farmed cow, right? What are they eating? They're eating corn, they're eating soy, they're eating other feed that are not grass-fed, right? So again, it's not just what we eat, it's whatever we eat and what they're eating. We consume whatever we ate, whatever they ate, right? So if a cow is eating corn, soy, and a lot of the like GMO crops, that's what we're putting into our body when we eat that quality of protein, guys. So I would highly recommend staying away from conventionally farmed protein sources and like all these corn-fed cows. Yeah, it might taste better, but guess what? Feeling better tastes better to me. So we got to change our mindset on that, guys. We are killing ourselves from just getting pleasure and enjoyment out of our foods, which is killing our bodies, making us oxidized, making us toxic, and just giving us a bad chance to be optimal in our health. So, man, I know I kind of went deep on a lot of shit, but hopefully here, guys, I'm trying to provoke your thoughts. I'm trying to provoke you to do research. I'm trying to provoke you to be your best and to be your own doctor, to be your best, to be your own coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be here to provide guidance, to provide information, to provide data. But at the end of the day, man, what I tell you guys, you have to apply for yourself, because what may work for one individual may not work for another individual. So this is very personalized, guys. But here's the thing, man. I probably tried every diet out there, from extreme carnivore where I was only eating meat, to the other spectrum where I was only eating fruit, like fruitarian diet. But you know what though? I'm not dogmatic about it. I don't try to force one diet paradigm on you. You will find your own. However, the underlying or the bottom line commonality to get great results, to get optimal in your health, to get optimal in your hormones, to get optimal in your physique, to lose body fat, is eliminating highly ultra processed foods, guys. Let's start looking at labels, man. Think about all the foods that are addicting, that are highly palatable, meaning you can eat that thing, it's so delicious and you won't get full. That's highly palatable foods, right? Think of like a chip, a Dorito, Oreo, candy bars. So now let's unpack every one of those, right? A chip. How do you make that triangle? How do you make that triangle stick together like that? It tastes so amazing with all that crunch and texture, the salt, the sugary, the man. It's just a good combination, right? Of all those things that are stimulating your taste buds, your senses, to make you want to eat more, to keep you eating more, and not put it down. So now let's again, the Dorito. How do you get it in that triangle form? Like, you can't get a Dorito in nature. Where is there a Dorito plant? So guess what? Let's decompose the Dorito. If you look at the back of the Dorito, man, there's like 50 ingredients on there, right? So it starts with number one, some kind of processed grain. It's probably mostly a corn. Most of the processed chips, crackers, cookies are either corn based or wheat based, right? They gotta pulverize the corn. They gotta pulverize the wheat. And guess what happens, guys, when they get processed? You strip the fiber, you strip the protein, you strip the fats out of that corn or wheat to get that fine powder. Powder. Let's think about powder. What's a powder that's super addictive? Cocaine. That shit is addictive, right? And basically what we're doing with these products, I won't call them foods anymore, is we're processing the shit out of these so they're easily ingestible, and it tricks our dopamine sensors. It gives you that high, just like cocaine does. So then apply that to sugar, apply that to corn, apply that to wheat, apply that to all the highly commercially available ingredients they're putting in all of these ultra processed foods. Guys, we got to wake up, man. Start looking at the labels. If you don't wake up, if you don't get your ass out of the matrix, you will be consumed. You will be a consumer. You will be blind. Next thing you know, months go by, years go by, and you're on a few medications, your blood